Hi and welcome to everyone joining us for this pre-recorded show, which is recorded early doors on Wednesday morning. This will be for the Thursday meeting, the 28th of December, where racing will take place in Johannesburg, Gauteng, and will be run on the Vaal Classic. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. Firstly, Alistair, festive greetings, and how are you doing?
Yeah, greetings, season's greetings to all the viewers, to yourself, Sheldon, to all the crew out at GTV. Compliments of the season. I hope it was a fantastic Christmas, and as we get to the end of the year, let's finish strong, and all the best for 2024. I'm sure those that watched day one of the crickets and day two, that there has been quite a bit of rain around Gauteng, but that is set to clear as the hours go by, so we should be in no danger on Thursday. As for the quality of the card, there are two horses that I think we can really put our head down and race the 2 and 7. We'll get there in due course. But I think the others, we need to tread carefully. But yeah, as we said off air, if you can make money on this card, then it's going to be the best end to a year that you'll ever have.
Well, talking about the cricket, let's see if we can hit them out the park when it comes to the racing. So the first race, this is due off at 12:20, and race number 1 will commence the bar pot, which is Alistair Cohen's suggested bet for the day. Looking at the anti-post betting, number 2, Empress of Normandy, is your current joint 33-10 favourite, with number 5, Lady Greensleeves. Number 1, Wait for Green Light, is at 5-1, with number 6, Inevitable. You can get 7-1 and better the rest. Now, Alistair, opening off the meeting is a 1,200 metre sprint, and pretty much most of them are in their place. However, number 2, Empress of Normandy, good second last time to Sugary Sweet. How do you read race number 1? I see you've gone with 2, 3, 5, 6 and 12, which says you're not that confident in the first.
Not confident at all, Sheldon. It is a tricky start to the bar pot, which gets underway at 20 past 12. I think Empress of Normandy deserves her place at the top of my list. Caden Brewer takes her out for Lucky Hoodalakis. Craig Zaki has got a week suspension. He's obviously taken it at a good time to go put his feet up in the bush, I believe. So Caden Brewer takes over for Lucky Hoodalakis. Lucky Hoodalakis for me is formidable at the Vaal, which is his home track. When you quoted the betting, and I heard 33-10 about Empress of Normandy, and the same price about number 5, Lady Greensleeves, who's a 14 run maiden and got beaten by Mount Darwin last time out, who went off at a big price, and Mount Darwin was expected to come into his own with a run under the belt and over further. I think he sprung up on them on debut. I think that puts into perspective exactly where Lady Greensleeves is, that she's going to get her day in the sun some stage, but she's going to need a decidedly weak field. So I think that the price of number 2, Empress of Normandy, is skewed if they are joint favourites. This horse, number 3, Princess Lola, she's got a bit of a reputation, Sheldon. It might sound a little bit odd that also had 5 starts, ran a well-beaten second as her best performance behind Southern Style, one of the worst form lines during the end of winter in Joburg. But the courageous form line is absolutely outrageous. Second horse, Mizzen Sail, won by a mile on Saturday. The third horse, Khaki Boss, won by a mile a week earlier. The fifth horse, Life Lesson, beaten 9 lengths, therefore a length and a quarter in front of Princess Lola, won by 2.5 lengths subsequently. That courageous, and obviously Candice Dawson trains courageous. Her work at home has turned around big time. I mean, she looks like she's not going to die a one-time winner either. Probably not she's not feature race ability, I don't believe, but she's come to hand quite nicely. So that form line is absolutely deadly. So Princess Lola's always been reported to be a horse that's got something about her and hasn't quite put it in. So the fact that she's at 7-1 and the form line's 3 from 3, that's a horse to consider. And then the other bits to back up, 6, Inevitable. Not much between her and Empress of Normandy last time. I'd like to see Inevitable confirm that run before we get carried away. But if I like Empress of Normandy, then Inevitable's got to come into the play. And then the lightly raced other Terry horse, number 12, Storm Secret, has a lot of scope to improve, because I think the runs to Global Thunder and Elysia's Love probably a touch stronger than what she faces on this card. And we'll see Under Sasibo taking 1.5 kilos off the back. I think there's enough benefits for number 12, Storm Secret, to at least run her best race and potentially be a danger. So very, very tricky start. 2, Empress of Normandy, my top choice, but any one of 5 for me can win it. I'd rather be safe than sorry here.
100% right. Rather go with numbers and stay in and survive the opening leg of the bipot. As we move on to race number 2, which will be the opening leg of the place accumulator, they'll do battle over 1,200 meters. And the banker for most will be number 1, Joker Man, trading at around 6 to 10. However, there has been money for number 2, Vaal, from 9 to 2 down 7 to 2, returning from a 102-day rest from the Sean Terry outfit. And then pretty much pick your price 6 to 1 and better. Looking at number 1, Joker Man, he's had the 3 runs to date, a third to Iron Sky on debut, the 4th to Brosnan, that form line's worked out particularly well, and then that last run to Phantom Express, career best when running second, and 1,200 meters for the first time, no problem. Reading between the lines, Alistair, race 2, number 1, Joker Man, borrowing the money for number 2, Vaal. Majority of the punters are going to be looking to take their doubles and trebles with Johan Janse van Vuuren, mate.
I think that's a fair stance as well, Sheldon. The draw's obviously a worry. It's not Johan van Vuuren style to run a horse from draw 10 out of 11 over 1,200 metres on the crown of the turn. But this race doesn't stack up as a strong race by any stretch of the imagination. There's very little form to work with. Number 2, Van Mile, I think, has been a little bit disappointing. I thought he could win his penultimate start at Hollywoodbets Scottsville when beaten by a fair horse in the form of Bristol Hercules. And then last time, I don't know what happened there. He just had all sorts of excuses. He hung out around the bend and returned short. So hence the rest and hence the gelding. Draw 1's obviously in his advantage. But Joker Man, second to Phantom Express last time. 2 winners out of that form. Majestic Palace won a good race. A Love Tap at 100 to 1 came out and won out of that form as well. So I think there's enough in favour of number 1, Joker Man. I expect him to win. I think he's just found the right race. I reckon that's probably Johan Janse van Vuuren stance as well, that I'll take the chance from a deep draw because this is not a very pretty field. And I think that he's a banker in the place accumulator and bipot. For me, he's the start of a nice double on the day, even though I've tipped to bipot. And I'll probably also chance my hand at a place accumulator on this card because I think it'll pay reasonably well. But I think overall, if you just cover yourself with a double race 2 and race 7 when we get there, I think that's the way to go.
That'll take us on to race number 3, which will be the opening leg of the Pick 6. So for the Pick 6 players, they need to get busy, and 13:30 is the carded off time. Once again, 1,200 meters will be the distance. Number 6, Nettleton, is trading as your 16 to 10 favorite. Number 2, Sigrid Swing, is at 5 to 1, and you can get 7 to 1 and upwards the rest. Let's firstly touch with your runner, number 8, Run for Isla from the Candice Dawson stable. Tell us how Run for Isla is doing, the 5-year-old Futura.
Same place as she's always in. As you can see, consistency is not her strong point. When she runs a bad race, she runs an absolute howler. When she runs a good race, she gives us a bit of a cheap thrill. Her rating of 61, I think, tells you everything. Pilasande Mpoli was keen to get back on board this daughter of Futura. I can't tell you anything that you don't know other than expect the unexpected with her. I'll put her in just to basically kick for touch. I must confess in my heart of hearts, I do put a few ahead of her in my pecking order. But yeah, she's capable of picking up a few rand for running a nice race. But as mentioned, she's also capable of running an absolute stinker because that's what she does from time to time. My top choice here is number 6, Nettleton. I think deserves her place at the top of the boards. Could I take 16 to 10? No. Gavin Lorena's up for Johan Janse van Vuuren. She runs and rounds off her races like the extra distance will suit. She's got a bad habit of hanging around over the closing stages, and last time out, had she got going perhaps a stride earlier, she might have actually run them down. I don't think that was a field packed with world beaters by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing about Nettleton, it looks like she's coming to hand now, and there's every reason to suggest that she'll step forward. When you just look at the horses around her, War Queen, Midnight Future, they ran 2nd and 4th respectively. I think that they're not far away from winning their next starts either, so I'll take the stance that number 6, Nettleton, is the horse that they all need to beat. A horse that I've got a lot of time for in this race, and if there's a little bit more rain at the Vaal over the next 24 hours, number 5, Golden Aspen, becomes very, very appealing to me. She grows an extra leg when the sting is out of the ground. Trent Mayhew takes the ride. Her ratings come down further. She might have lost a little bit of her zest for racing, but if she's ever going to pick it up again, it will be on a soft track. It doesn't look like there's much rain forecast, though, leading into this race, so come the first leg of the bar pot place accumulator in pick 6, I might exclude number 5 Golden Aspen, but if there is rain around, Golden Aspen gets promoted up my picking order very, very close to the top. For Mashivy, good run on the back of a break last time out, draws a little bit of a concern. That's not the Pettigrew style, but she'll step forward with that last run under the belt. We spoke about number 8 Run for Ada, who's in my play, and the other bit of backup is number 10 Cerulean Dancer. I like the fact that Muzi Yeni's now on board, this daughter of Wiley Hall. Her last run showed sparks of life when she went off to the front and got collared late against boys. So I think back to her own sex of a nice generous galloping weight, and with Muzi taking the ride for the first time, you can make a pretty strong case for her. So I've gone 5 horses. Rain around, Golden Aspen, good each way play. No rain, take her out and reduce the cost of your perm.
That'll take us on to race number 4, and just looking at the betting for race number 4, this is over a trip of 1,000 meters. Number 7, Time for Orchids, is a narrow favorite, 22-10. Number 2, Chocolate Bomb at 5-2. Number 8, Red Hot Rose, 7-2. 7-1 barring those runners. Now, number 7, Time for Orchids. This is a horse who, she's got the ability on her day. However, you've elected to go with numbers 2 and 8, the second and third favourites, Chocolate Bomb and Red Hot Rose. Which would be your first selection of the two?
Definitely Red Hot Rose, Sheldon. I think she comes in here well weighted. She clearly needed her last run behind Cullinan Blue, where she just ran out of steam over the closing stages. From that form, Cullinan Blue came out and won. Elegant Eyes got touched off narrowly into second, and Wise Act has also run second behind Tegan's Champ. And Wise Act runs later on in the day. I think Red Hot Rose is going to take a huge step forward with that run under the belt. She has competed at grade 1 level, probably not quite a grade 1 filly, but her runs in the South African Fillies nursery, for me, puts her as close to the top as you can imagine. I'll tell you why I'm not keen on Time for All, because I just think 1,000 meters is going to undo her. I don't think she's got the pace to travel with them over 1,000 meters. And also with Johan having 4 horses in the race, to me it looks like he's kept this race alive for someone. Gavin Lorena obviously can't do 55 kilos in Time for Orchid, so I wouldn't be reading too much into the fact that Gavin's riding 2 Chocolate Bomb and Samango Kamalo, very interesting booking on number 7 Time for Orchids. But I think that she'll be undone over 1,000 meters. For me, this looks like a setup for the next start, whatever the next start might be. So 8 Red Hot Rose, my top choice. Number 2 Chocolate Bomb. Last time, trifle disappointing. Maybe that was because it was over 1,200 meters. I know that he's won at 1,200 before, but he can get very worked up, can Chocolate Bomb. The forecast is not one to be boiling conditions, so hopefully that can keep a lid on him. And with Gavin Lorena on board out of a good draw, he'll probably end up with a nice run. Hopefully the pace is on for his sake, and he can settle just off the pace and finish it off. So I'm expecting better from number 2 Chocolate Bomb. I must confess I was very close to banking number 8 Red Hot Rose though in all my bets. I've just gone for 2 as backup, and I suppose in the pick 6 you wouldn't be happy with yourself if you let Time for Orchids run loose.
That'll take us on to the next hurdle, which will be race number 5, and just having a look at the off time, 14:40 over 1,800 meters. You've gone with numbers 2, 6 and 7, the top 3 in the betting. Let's kick off with number 2, Twa Twa Quat. Twa Twa Cut, obviously named after Anthony Del Pesh with his record-breaking season. And looking at this individual, he's a type of horse who could get into the winner's enclosure, but you have backed up with Mondial and George Handel just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, because I think that they're 2 progressive 3-year-olds. I think Twa Twa Cut's more battle-hard and therefore more ready to win a race of this nature. But I like the way Mondial and George Handel are going about that business. Twa Twa Cut, lovely last run to Viva Brazil, who he meets again strictly at the weights, although there shouldn't be much between them. Twa Twa Cut's got the beating. He's got a kilo to play with for a quarter of a length. I also think Samango Kamala would have learned a lot from him last time out. He does mix his form from time to time. He had no luck in running from his penultimate start when he had the worst of the draws at Turfentine on Betway Summer Cup Day. He just really didn't find a spark, although he wasn't disgraced behind Jet Dynasty. I think he's probably in the right place to run a nice race. Number 2 Twa Twa Cut, so he's my tentative top selection. 6 Mondial, I think luck was on his side. When I say luck was on his side, it was the right race last time with 50 kilos on his back and being able to shrug off all the challenges around him. He's a nice progressive son of Flower Alley. I like the profile of the horse. I think he's going to win a few more races. He'll be tested sufficiently here because now he's got more weight to carry, but he might be up to the task. And then number 7, George Handel, beat a well-weighted horse last time in the form of On the Horizon as she dropped her unbeaten record. Muzi Yeni's back on board. A £6 penalty for winning a middle stakes. That's the maximum they can get. So he might well be just above the curve for now. So simply on that evidence, I'll back him. I'll put number 7, George Handel on. In fact, in that run on the 25th of November on Betway Summer Cup Day, George Handel's got 4.5 lengths to play with Twa Cut for for 3 kilos. So I think George Handel, with the fact that he's progressive, might just have the edge of a Twa Cut. But with that said, as I mentioned, Twa Cut just had no luck in running on that day. So whoever one is, the other will be right there. 2, 6, and 7 for me.
Next up will be race number 6, and the only scratching at this early time of recording is number 2, QC Azul. So you can take out number 2, QC Azul. And then just looking how we're going to navigate race number 6, we're going to give you Alistair's numbers. He's going with numbers 5 and 10. Number 5, Sweet Basil, is the 28-10 marginal favourite. Number 7, A Place in the Sun, is 3-1. And then there's a very congested market. So looking at the field, even a horse like number 10, Mighty Goddess. I know there's a lot of punters out there who've been waiting a while for Mighty Goddess. And Alistair, I see you've gone the 5 and the 10. So you've also been waiting for Mighty Goddess to come back and get back into the winner's enclosure.
Oh, yes. I'm one of those punters with number 10, Mighty Goddess. I quite like the race because I think 5 and 10 are the main protagonists, and I like the price about number 10, Mighty Goddess, despite a touch of money leading into this meeting. The blinkers go back on. Her only win came with blinkers on. It was in a decidedly weak maiden, but her ratings come down from a once high 92, which was never a 92, never that good, but she's now down to a 61. She's got Muzieni on board for the 3rd time in her career. Muzi's ridden her twice, for a 2nd and for a 3rd. She's got a good draw around the turn of a 1600 meters, the Vaal Classic. Not much is going to go wrong in running. You can't really mess that up. So I think number 10, Mighty Goddess, is really sort of popping for a race of this nature. So she's a right price at the time of recording. I don't expect her to be 10-1 come race time, but the fact remains that if she's not going to at least go close here, then I might run out of patience for this daughter of Flying the Flag. The backup is the very progressive number 5, Sweet Basil, who I think needed her first 2 runs back. She reopposes with number 7, Place in the Sun, but in that run on the 5th of December, Sweet Basil finished behind Quantum in a place of the Sun, and she's got a little bit of work to do according to the weights, but like I said, I just think she needed those runs. Her first run back from a bad draw was a pleasing run behind Back to the Future. I watched that race in Pettigrew's office. He was happy with the run. I'm sure he was satisfied, probably not beaming from ear to ear with the last run, but I think that'll now tee her up for a big run here, number 5, Sweet Basil. I think the further she goes and the more she races, the better she'll be. She's a full sister to a horse who ran a place in the Volkerbos Drift Oaks in the form of Pamanda. So number 5, Sweet Basil, got to go close. 28-10, deserves her place at the top of the boards.
On to race number 7, where the anti-post support has come for number 2, Wizzy Act from the Kone Spiss stable and Samanga Kamala. And always when there's money for the yard and the combination, you have to have healthy respect. Opened up 28-10, has been back down to 2-1. Number 4, Sunshine Day, 7-2, and then it's 11-2 about number 3, Command Pilot, along with number 5, Chasing Happiness. Now the early money for number 2, Samanga Kamala and Kone Spiss. Would this be one of your top 3 selections?
Yeah, that's my top selection quite comfortably, Sheldon. I make him close to a pick 6 bank in an open race. Well, when I say an open race, in an intriguing 3-year-old handicap. But Isaac, first of all, is a full brother to Bartoldi, rated 119, and a half brother to Grade 1 winner Bohica. WYSIWYG obviously translates to what you see is what you get. And Isaac, lovely last run. I think he's just needed his 2 runs back. I know that he's held in high regard. He's a lovely looking son of acts of war. This mare's obviously stamped them. Also, the half-brother to 5-time winner Ashling, who you all know quite well, owned by Roy Mudley down in Durban. The last run was a cracking run. They were miles clear of the third-place horse, Bertagan's Champion Wise Act. There's a lot to come from this horse. You could probably argue there's a lot to come from quite a few horses in this race. Command Pilot, I think, has got scope to improve, especially when he goes over a little bit further. Sunshine Day is a very nice filly. Chasing Happiness, also a nice filly, although I don't know about her over 1450. I don't know if she's quite got the running style for that. Prince of Green's a horse that I've got a lot of time for. San Simon could also be anything, despite finding Edward Rye too good last time out. But I think Wise Act probably more battle-hardened. I think he's got designs on running in feature races. Wouldn't surprise me if he's setting up for a race in 2 weeks' time in the what's now called the Got the Green Light Stakes, which is formerly known as the Tony Ruffle. I like number 2, Wise Act, a lot. The early support is a good sign in my eyes, and yep, that's the second half of my double, race 2 and race 7.
Well, there you go, Wise Act. It could be a wise move to follow the double and follow the money, as that could be the play of the day, the double, as Alistair has mentioned. That'll catapult us into the final race, which is race number 8, over 1,500 meters. So the in-between trip, 1,500 meters, 16:25. Number 7, Jury's Out, is 33-10, which shows you the open nature of the race. Number 5, Southern Blaze, 5-1, and then you can take your pick 7-1 and better the rest. Now, Alistair, race number 8 has Quartet written all over it. It has stamped Quartet on race number 8. Who would be your short list, and would you have a roving banker in the 8th race if the guys are looking to play a Quartet?
Really, my roving banker is number 2, Pewter Sky here, Sheldon, at a good price. I think he'll run into the first 4. His last run to Guy Gibson, according to the weights, had 0 chance at graduation level, running against a 3-year-old rated north of 100 and duly winning. And in that race was Renee, who was obviously disappointing over the weekend, but gone from racing against the horses that have performed at grade 1 level and placed at grade 1 level, and now to MR75 level. I think number 2, Pewter Sky, represents a bit of value. I'm not saying he's going to win because he hasn't won in 500 days, so it's hard to rely and trust a horse that's got that type of record, but I think he'll be in the first 4. So to answer your question about roving banker, yep, number 2, Pewter Sky is it. Horses that have got to have a chance, 5, Southern Blaze, big chance. Draw 1's a huge advantage. Lovely last run from near the back of the field behind Sunshine Day. Although I've gone against Sunshine Day a race earlier, I expect it to be bang there. If she runs a nice race, that'll enforce the confidence about number 5, Southern Blaze. 7, Jury's Out, such an improved horse. With a tongue tie, he's a different horse. He's a grinder, he's a trier. The draw's not ideal, obviously, but Gavin Lorena knows him well, so hopefully he'll get a bit of luck in running. He'll run an honest race, as he always does. Number 7, Jury's Out. Obviously, life getting a little bit harder for him with the rating going up, but he continues to take steps forward. 8, Mitch Got His Wish, I think, ran a lovely race after nearly a year off last time out behind Sunshine Day. So Southern Blaze and Mitch Got His Wish shouldn't be too far away from each other. And I've got a lot of time. What price is number 13, John Wick? 8-1. I think that's a fair representation. I know that he beat a weak maiden and a work riders last time out, but probably the right landing spot for him. When you actually consider that Jury's Out, a 2-time winner, having won a when I say a fair handicap last time, beating the older, hard-knocking, grizzled veterans last time like he did, and John Wick now ran against a work riders maiden where he started 5-10 and won well enough, but Oklahoma Twister ran an absolute not a nice race subsequently and a very weak maiden. I think that gives you a little bit more confidence about number 7, Jury's Out. So 2, Pewter Sky, definitely in my play, but I think the winner comes from either that, 5, 7, and I've got time for 13, John Wick, just because he can take a step forward out of the last run.
Well, there you have it from Alistair Cohen. Number 2, Pewter Sky, who, as we talk, is currently trading at around 14-1, 2-1 the fixed place. Maybe worth having a little bit of an each way nibble. And then if you're not sold on that, as far as the trifectas, exactas, and the quartets go, you might be a horse that you need to look very, very closely at. Now, Alistair, your chosen bet for the day, suggested bet, is the bar pot. And there's a few legs where you've gone large, and then 1 or 2 legs where you've gone a little bit light. So we're going to bring that up on screen now, and for all your followers out there, if you wouldn't mind just going through your selections, please.
Yeah, it's a bit of the good and the bad, this bipot. As mentioned, and as you said, it starts in race number 1, which is an earlier start at 20 past 12. It'll only be the second meeting after Christmas. So in the first leg, I've gone with 5 horses, 2, which is Empress of Normandy, 3, Princess Lola, 5, Lady Greensleeve, 6, Inevitable, and 12, Storm Secret. Babanka, 1, Joker Man, I think that he'll win. Then 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10, Miss Shivey, Golden Aspen, Nettleton, Run for Rala, and Cerulean Dancer. If there is no rain in the 24 hours leading up to the race, then you can eliminate number 5, Golden Aspen. If there is a sprinkling of rain, make sure she's in. Then leg 4, 2, and 8, Chocolate Bomb and Red Hot Rose. I'm keen on Red Hot Rose. By 2, 6, and 7, Twa Twa Cut, Mondial, and George Handel, the 2 progressive 3-year-olds. And then final leg 5 and 10, Sweet Basil and Mighty Goddess. That's the race I like most, because I think that's where we're going to make money in exactors and swingers.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Alistair. As is the norm, we really value the input that you put in, the hard work and the studying. Stay safe, and we'll chat to you soon.
Same to you, Sheldon. Thank you so much. Looking forward to everything to come. We are roughly 10 days away from the Lommeraw Kings Plate, which is shaping up to be an absolute ripper of a race meeting. So for those that are coming down to Cape Town, we'll see you then. We'll definitely chat soon. So all the punters, enjoy your day.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen joining us on the line, giving us the lowdown on the selections and finding us 1 or 2 value bets and also a double on the card. So let's see how things map out. And I will leave it up to the trainers, the jockeys, and of course the horses to do the business on the racecourse.